Hello, let's get ready to set up our development environment for C++ and programming. Now, C++ is a compiled language, so you will need compilers like Gen++ to compile your code to machine language. So in this section, I'm going to teach you how to install the various compilers for the various operating systems for Windows, Linux, and then macOS. Um, for this, we will need a code editor that we'll be using to write our source code. And for this particular section, you are free to use any code editor that you would love to use. But for me, I'm using Visual Studio Code. To get Visual Studio Code, you just have to type Visual Studio Code on your browser, and then you would have this Visual Studio Code. Click on this link, and then with this, we have the Visual Studio Code for various operating systems. So if you're on Windows, you can download for your Windows OS. If you're on Linux, you can download for your Linux OS. If you're on Mac, you can download for Mac. It's pretty simple. And then let's move on to getting our compiler. I'm using Ubuntu 24.0. So let me take you through this. First of all, you have to search for your terminal, right? So my terminal, those on Ubuntu, my terminal. Then I would have to check if I have Gen++ installed. So what I do is I do Gen++. So in actual sense, I have Gen++ this version installed. If you don't have Gen++ installed on your Linux, this is how you go about it. So you run this command sudo apt build essential, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste this command to my terminal. Control V. Okay, and then I'll be asked to enter my password, and then I'll just follow the instructions. This is pretty simple. I've already done that, so I'm not going to do it again. You can try it at your end. If everything goes well, you can just use Gen++, and then if you do this and you get this, then it means you have the compiler successfully installed. For those on Windows, it's pretty very simple. For Windows, we have some IDEs, right? So if you're on Windows, you can search for Embarcadero C++. It's an IDE. The first link that you see, you can just use this link. So with the link, okay. So after filling all these forms, you can just click on download, and then you'll be able to download the Embarcadero. It's an IDE, so it comes with various C++ compilers. And then last but not the least, let's look at how we are going to install set up C++ environment for macOS. So for macOS, it's pretty simple, like the way the Linux version 2 is simple. So you just have to run this command on your terminal, scoop select install, and then you just have everything figured out. If you want to install GCC or GDB with Homebrew, that's fine. And then anything that you prefer to use. But we just need to, for this section, I just want us to get a development environment. Then if you're on Visual Studio Code 2, let me launch Visual Studio Code. We have various extensions that makes coding easier. So if you're on VS Code, you just have to come to this side, extensions, and then you search for C/C++. So this extension, right? You download this extension, you install this extension. I've already installed this, so I'm not going to install it. You install this extension pack, and then you can also look for this extension code runner. Okay, it's optional, so you can also install this code runner. It allows you to easily run your source code, compile your source code with ease. That is all for this video. Hello, so in this video I'm going to take you through some basic shell commands. For this full C++ tutorial, you need to be equipped with some basic shell commands, so that's the purpose of this video. If you are depending on the operating system, every OS, Windows, Linux OS, and then Mac OS, they all have the kind of terminal that they use. So for Linux users, you can just search terminal. This another terminal here. For those on Windows, you can search for PowerShell, or you can search for command prompts. Those on Windows. Okay, those on Mac, you can search for terminal view. It looks something like this, so it's pretty much the same. What I'm going to teach here, it's quite similar for other OS, for other terminals in different operating systems. So say for instance, let's start with, let me launch my terminal here. So let's start with how to view the content of a directory or a folder. So this is, I'm in my home directory here. This is my home directory. If I want to view all the folders in this directory, I can use the command ls to list all the directories in this. So I have AWS in this, right? If you are on Windows, to the command prompt, you can try dir, right? It will list all the directories that you have. It should work. Now if you want to navigate to a different directory, let's say I want to move to the directory called models, right? I use what you call, use a cd, right? Cd followed by the name of the directory you want to navigate to. So in my case, I want to navigate to the models. So models. So now do you see I'm in the model directory? Now what if I want to go back one step back, right? If I want to go one step back, I just do cd followed by double dots, right? Now I've moved one step back. I'm now back to my previous directory. And then the next command is the command that will, you want to create a folder. Okay, so if I want to create a folder in this home directory, we use what we call mkdir. So this command is used to create a new directory. Then it takes the name of the directory you want to create. So let's say I want to name the directory programming. So this command will create a folder called programming in my home directory. So I just have to click enter. Now let's check if the command worked. So to check for this, I'll just use the ls or the dir command to list the directories that I have. So I just do ls and then bam, I have programming here. This is a programming folder I created. Or pretty much I can do dir, those on Windows, using command prompts. See, I have programming here, meaning the folder has been created. Now what if I want to navigate to the programming folder? Remember, you just have to do cd programming, and then now I'm in the programming folder. What if I want to create a file in this folder called programming folder? Those using the Linux terminal, you can do touch, and you can give the name of the file that you want to create. So let's say index dot let me give it txt. So I've created a file called index.txt, so I can just confirm if the file was actually created by listing the content of the folder programming. So I just do ls, right? So this is a file. So pretty much this is all that you need to know. This is something basic that you need to know for this section. I'll be using this commands a lot, so please practice a lot. Practice with these commands in your free time. Thank you.